All right, Hesh Sagafi here, Liberty Home Mortgage. So what are we talking about today? Is the housing market and real estate about to pop? No, it's not, okay? I've got my notes, I got my little cheat sheets here, okay? Housing is not gonna pop. Housing is not gonna burst. There's not some sort of gigantic foreclosure crisis looming. There's not some sort of gigantic short sale stuff coming. There's not any scary anything. Now again, I've said this in a lot of videos. Can we be bankrupted just with inflation? Hell yes, okay? Is the Federal Reserve doing enough to bring inflation back down such that you're making enough money out there to afford just the basics of living? No, I don't think they are. I don't think they're doing anywhere near the amount that has to be done, and the government themselves are doing such an exorbitant amount of spending because, I mean, imagine this. Inflation is caused by too much spending, too many dollars chasing too few goods. If inflation's high, spending money is the exact opposite of what you need to do. But then, of course, we have a government that does nothing but blast out billions upon billions and trillions upon trillions of more dollars into the system. I can go for 10 hours on that, but I'm gonna stay a little bit away from that, okay? So knowing all of that, no, inflation's not coming down anytime soon. It's gonna come down a little bit. I think we'll get into the 6s, maybe the 5s, until they open the supply lines, and there's a lot behind that garbage too. And I just gotta get back on my focus of what I'm talking about. Why is housing not going to bust? Let me start with this, reason one. Reason one is we are going to have a supply shortage in 2023. We are still going to have a very limited supply of housing. I could piss on all of the other data, throw it out the window. Who cares about all the other stuff I've written down here to tell you about? Here's the bottom line. Supply, demand, and prices. It's a kindergarten concept we've all heard our whole life. Supply and demand. I added the word prices to that one, okay? Supply, demand, and prices. When it comes to supply, when you have a short supply of goods, I don't care if it's the paper that I'm reading my notes on, I don't care if it's the camera that's filming me or this gigantic bright light that's shining in my face right now, when you have a short supply of those items and demand is the same or increasing, the price on those items is not gonna drop significantly. For different reasons, it might drop a little bit, but it ain't dropping. So the fact of the matter is in the housing industry, in 2023, this is November of 22, I'm shooting this video. In 2023, we're gonna have bad supply of houses. You're still gonna have low inventories. That's still gonna be your number one issue, low inventory. You keep inventory low, you don't have to worry about real estate prices dropping dramatically. Now, let me go to this one here. Price drops. What you could do, you can go pull up the median price of a home sale. The St. Louis Federal Reserve has a lot of data and charts. You are looking at very, very steady when you start looking at price reductions. The fact is the median price of a home today in November is lower than it was in February, March, April, May, June during the summertime, okay? Now, a lot of people say, Hesh, look, home prices are down 20%. There's a difference. There is a huge difference because I've lived it for 23 years and I'll take on anybody when it comes to this stuff. I've lived it, okay? This is what I've done for 23 years, okay? There's a difference between the median sales price of a home being less because 13% of America is in default on their loan. God knows what bigger percentage than that is struggling and how many are doing short sales, foreclosures. There's a difference between the house sold for $30,000 less because the bank took $30,000 less, or people are no longer going $100,000 over the list price of a home. Now, today's market, even November 2022, you still have to go possibly $10,000, $20,000 over list price, maybe even more, depending on the house, the neighborhood, and how many offers are coming in. But the amount of the strength of the offer of the buyer. Buyers are much more in the driver's seat today than they were 6 months ago, okay? 6 months ago, when you were looking at the start of 2022 or the summer of 2022, the first 2 quarters basically, you had to do an inspection waiver. You had to do an appraisal gap coverage, cover the shortage. You might have to do an appraisal waiver. You had to go conventional with God knows 50% down, and you were competing with investors and all this other stuff. Today, is some of that still out there? Absolutely, it's still out there. It's not gone. For God's sake, it's only been 90 days, okay? but it's not even close to what it was. You can get a home inspection. You don't have to cover appraisal shortages. Sellers will now cover closing costs. It's dramatically different. Not that buyers are in full control, but buyers are in way more control than they were. But at the end of the day, the facts are still the facts. Inventory is low. You will see the median sales price of a home coming down from where it was 3 months ago, but I'll tell you this one, they're still going to be way higher than they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. This is why home prices overall will continue to slowly increase. Are we going to see the 20 to 30% increases in 6 months that we saw between 2020, 21, and 22? No, that's the best thing on the damn planet. I don't want home prices to keep going up 20% a year. It's not sustainable. And the fact of the matter is it's not sustainable. It's not a good thing, okay? I'm giving less loans today than I was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I had no documentation loans. We didn't verify anything, okay? Those have been gone for 15 years. Do you want to know something? I'm giving less loans today, but I'll take it. I've been giving less loans for the last 15 years. I'll take it. You want something that is sustainable. When you have something that's sustainable, it's consistent, you can build yourself around that and you can work with that, okay? Housing is not going to pop. There's no bust coming. There's no housing bust coming in 2023. There is a recession coming. Unemployment is going to be going up. The stock market still, in my opinion, has another 10 to 30% pullback in it. The stock market, the Dow Jones, the S&P, the NASDAQ, those have pulled back 10 to 30%. I think they have another 10 to 30% to go, but we're not going to see that until 2023. The real estate industry is already getting the treatment with mortgage rates. It has a little more pullback to go. Real estate prices are going to be very stable. Real estate itself is going to be extremely stable. The people we've loaned money to for the last 15 years are going to keep making their payments. There is absolutely, positively no real estate bust coming, and everybody that wants to comment on my page about all of these God knows theories that you have, they're all pure garbage, okay? Real estate's strong. It's not going anywhere. It always has been strong. It's a great investment. If you're thinking about buying, I've got news for you. Buy today, because in 12 to 24 months, real estate values are going to be higher than what you buy at today. Not a ton, but they're going to be higher. If you wait on the sidelines, you're going to be getting in at a higher price in 12 months from now. So there's no explosion coming. This is what I'm telling you. Pay attention to my other videos. So like, comment, and share on these. Make sure you subscribe to follow my other videos, and I'll follow you on the next one with what that topic is.